time to replace the spark plugs on this 2006 Honda Accord. If you're ready, just stay tuned. We'll get right on it. So this spark plug job applies to the 2.4-liter Honda Accord 03 to 07. There's also a V6 version, but today we're doing the 2.4-liter, which I think is more dependable because it does have a timing chain versus a belt, and these things can hit 300,000 miles if you do proper maintenance. You can see I'm using an extended 10mm socket with a 1/4" ratchet right here to break these 4 bolts loose. And this is a little plastic cover that covers the ignition coils and the spark plugs. As you can see, it's very easy to remove. Just 4 bolts, 10mm bolts to remove, and there's not a lot of torque involved. And then we can get access to the coil packs and the plugs themselves. Now these coil packs usually last a little over 100,000 miles. I've got 200,000 miles on my vehicle, so you'll have to go by how many miles you have. So I'm hoping that somebody's already replaced these coil packs at some point, but we do want to check our coil packs out as we're replacing our spark plugs to see if anything's damaged, or if they look like they're pretty worn out, we can go ahead and replace these as well. But the primary job here is just going to be the spark plugs, and we're going to remove this cover now, and now we have clear access to the coil packs and plugs. Okay, now that we got the beauty cover off, you can see the inline 4 configuration. It's pretty easy to get to. The electrical connections do get really hot sitting up on top of the engine, and after a couple 100,000 miles, they get brittle. So when you push the tab to release the electrical connection from the coil pack, they can crack or snap off. That's what happened to me. So you gotta be careful here while you're doing this. Quick tip, if you spray everything down with 303 aerospace protectant before you start the job, let it soak in, then wipe it off before you start. Sometimes it'll really help protect from cracking or snapping of plastic, vinyl, and rubber parts. I use it all the time. I'll leave a link below if you're interested. Okay, let's take a closer look at the tab we're going to depress to release this electrical connection from the coil pack. It's right here, that little tab right there. Push down on that, pull back gently, and it'll separate from the coil pack. If it's brittle like this one was, a tab will snap off. As you can see, this tab snapped off. Don't worry, it'll still separate from the coil pack, but you'll no longer be able to snap it back in and keep it in place. It will stay on there. Mine hasn't come loose, but you can't snap it back in anymore. Okay, now it's time to remove the coil packs. It's very simple. We've got 4 more 10mm bolts. Once you've removed the beauty cover, you can see these. Each one's attached to a coil pack here. I used a 10mm extended socket to break it loose, and it's very easy to break loose. So I'm gonna go ahead and spin the bolt out. The tricky part here is now once you go to remove the electrical connection like we talked about earlier, it can be very brittle. I've got 200,000 miles on my car, so it just depends on how much mileage you have on yours. I'm sure you've got quite a bit if you've got 03 to 07. Right now, I'm going to push down this tab and you see it snap right off. So that was what I was talking about earlier. They're very brittle. You have to be gentle with these. That's why I should use 303 on this. You can still separate this with a flathead screwdriver and you can pull it right off of your coil pack. But let's move on to this one and try it again. I'm going to go much more gentle on the tab, and it started to make a creaking noise, so I just eased up real light on it, and I was able to click it without snapping it off. And once I got it clicked, I was just able to wiggle it off. So that's probably your best way to go. It's just to be super gentle with this and try to avoid snapping those off. It's not the end of the world if you do snap the tab off. It'll still stick on. You can see that the electrical connection looks very good. There's no heat burning or anything scorching going on. But look at the end of this coil pack. You can see there's no cracking or anything, but it's starting to bleach out on the end. That's just heat over a long period of time. It starts to scorch the rubber I'm gonna go ahead and say that this does need to be replaced. I didn't replace them on this video, but if I were you, I would go ahead and replace my coil pack if they looked anything like this on the bottom where the rubber is just totally bleached out. That's just from heat. Cycling over and over and over, and it eventually breaks that rubber down. As far as the rest of the coil pack goes, you're going to look for cracking on the stem itself, and I didn't see any cracking, which was great. And then you're going to check the electrical connection itself, and there's this little spring inside there, so make sure the spring is intact. I didn't show you the spring in there, but there is a little spring inside that coil pack, and you can see that the electrical connection looks good here. So I was able to use these a little bit longer, but I would replace these if I were you. So that is the coil pack removal. It's pretty simple. Just have to be careful with the electrical connection when you're removing it. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and remove the spark plugs. But before we do this, it's very important to make sure your spark plug tubes are clear of any dirt, dust, or debris of any type. Now, hopefully you can get access to compressed air. I happen to have a little compressed air machine, so I'm going to use mine to spray out first around the area in general. Just make sure you get any dirt and debris out of the area, and then we're going to go into each tube separately and blow them out. You can even take a piece of rubber tubing, place that around the end of your compressed air gun, and then get way deep in there to blow anything out if you're having problems getting each of your tubes cleared out. I didn't have any problems with that. I was able to get more than enough compressed air pressure down into the tube and blow it out. I didn't really have much, if any, debris in there, but you could definitely have small bugs, sand, or even like a piece of leaf or something dried up in your tube. What you don't want to do is remove your spark plug and have any debris fall into the cylinder head itself. That is no good at all. Definitely want to make sure that your spark plug tubes are cleared out. Now, if you can't get compressed air, you could use a leaf blower as an alternative there to blow out your spark plug tubes with a leaf blower. So if you can't find compressed air, try a leaf blower, worst case scenario. So now we're ready to remove the spark plugs themselves. So I'm using a 5/8 inch spark plug removal tool. It's one of your standard removal tools. You can pick one of these up from AutoZone if you don't have one. And it's got some like foam in there, so that kind of locks around the end of the spark plug and it makes it easy to remove. I also have an extension that locks in to the socket so that it doesn't come loose once you put it on to the end of the socket, so I can just easily remove the spark plug without anything falling apart. Now, the key here is to go very slow when removing your spark plug. It depends on how old your spark plugs are. They can get brittle and they could actually snap off, and that's the last thing you want to have happen is to have your spark plug snap. So just go nice and slow. Mine weren't that bad. They were a little squeaky. You'll usually hear a little bit of a squeaking when you go to remove your old spark plugs because they're just kind of fused in there a little bit to the threads of the engine. But mine weren't too bad. They were able to, I was able to remove them pretty well. You can see I've got a bit of, looks like rust, and that's aluminum head. So the spark plug will get rust, but not the aluminum head. But you can see a little bit of rust. Sorry, it's out of focus here. This is definitely a drier plug here, and we'll go over the plug in detail later, but just be very careful. Worst case scenario, you can take some WD-40, spray it down into your tube, and let it soak for a little bit to help ease removal of your spark plug. You can, yeah, now you can see the threads a little bit. They're definitely dry and no oil on there, so that's kind of good. But if it's really hard to remove it, take some WD, spray it down in there, or some other type of lubricant, and you can let it seep in a little bit, and that might aid you. If you're having issues removing it and it feels like it's going to snap off into the tube, spray some lubricant down in there, let it soak for a while, and then try it again. You can see these are definitely over 100,000 miles old here. They're very, very heat soaked, and you can tell that by the porcelain insulator. And sorry, it's blurry right here, but the part that I'm holding on to, the white porcelain part, that's the porcelain insulator. You can see it's starting to turn like a rust color. It's just been baked for probably over 100,000 miles, so you can tell it's pretty old that way. But now we're ready to put the new ones in. So I'm going to be using double iridium Bosch spark plugs pre-gapped at 0.044 inches. If you choose whatever spark plug you use, make sure that it's pre-gapped. And if not, we'll show you how to gap them yourself. And if they are pre-gapped, make sure they have a protective sheath over them like this right here. This little sheath will keep that gap protected, and because it gets knocked around in the box and you can lose your gap if you don't have this protective sheath. So the actual stock plugs for the Honda Accord are NGK, and I would recommend NGK iridium anyway. I think it may have come with NGK copper, but now you can upgrade to iridium. I'm also going to use a little bit of anti-seize. Now, Honda does not use anti-seize on their stock plugs, but I thought I'd throw some on here because I did have some difficulty removing these plugs, and I didn't want that to happen again. Also, I'm going to change them probably between every 40 and 50,000 versus probably 100,000 plus on these, because I bought this used with 200,000 on it. So there's no telling how many times they've been changed, if at all. So hopefully they won't stick again, but I'm just going to make sure by adding just a little bit of anti-seize. That's up to you if you want to use this or not, but Honda doesn't use that on their plugs. Now, this is what is recommended by Honda NGK iridium plugs for the 2.4 liter Honda Accord here. And I'll try to leave a link below from Amazon for you. This is not Amazon site right here, but if you look down here, it says that basically these plugs should be changed about every 40 to 50,000 miles. And as far as the gap goes, it's the same for 2003 all the way through 2007, but it's basically a 0.044 inch gap. So I would recommend NGK for sure versus Bosch or anything else, but that's all I had available, so I went ahead and went with the Bosch. But I'll try to leave a link below for you for the NGK. Okay, now I've grabbed the spark plug, placed it back into the spark plug socket with the extension attached, and the key is now we're going to hand thread each plug back into position. You do not want to be using any ratchets at this point or power tools. You want to hand thread each and every spark plug back in, because we do not want to cross thread this spark plug and damage the threads in the engine. That could be a very expensive mistake. It's easy to do, trust me, so you want to be very careful and go straight down with the plug and slowly but surely advance this plug. You want to make sure it's nice smooth rotations here, and then it keeps going till it starts to get snug. Once it gets snug, then you can grab your ratchet, snug it up a little bit, and then grab a torque wrench, inch-pound or foot-pound. You want to end up with 13 foot-pounds of torque on the spark plug. That is the torque specs for the 2.4 liter 2003 to 2007 Honda Accord engine, 13 foot-pounds. We want to avoid any damaged threads, and the only way you're going to do that is to hand thread it. Okay, once you get it torqued to spec, everything's in there okay, we can go ahead now and replace the coil pack. And once you place the coil pack back down in here, you just want to be careful with the electrical connection. Like we talked about earlier, is maybe brittle. This one was in pretty good shape, and once I've got the coil pack level with the actual electrical connection, I pushed it into position till it clicked, and then it broke off. You can see I just grabbed that. I didn't really show it, but that little piece broke off. So now it won't lock in, but The good news is that these things are really snug, and I'm sure you could probably zip tie it if you wanted to, but I didn't zip tie it. I just stuck it on there. It was nice and snug, and you've got a little cover over that, so chances of that coming loose are pretty slim. I haven't had any problem with it, and I've been running for several thousand miles, but you might be able to zip tie it with a small zip tie if you're worried about it. But yeah, these things do get brittle and they do snap, so maybe 303 Aerospace Protect It might help you out. I wish I would have sprayed it down before I even started the job and let it soak in overnight, but I didn't. But maybe you can try that tip and maybe it'll help you out. But now we can go ahead and replace the little beauty cover over the top of this once you've got all of your spark plugs replaced and all of your electrical connections put back in order. Let's take a look at these old plugs. I think the main takeaway here is that these plugs are way overdue for being changed. The ceramic insulator is starting to turn like a rust color because of heat soak. The actual diodes on top, it looks pretty intact. I mean, the structure of the spark plugs in pretty decent shape considering how old they are. You can see this looks like it's been running a little lean though. There's no carbon buildup at all. If anything, it's rust colored, which can indicate a lot of heat. So it looks like we've got a lot of heat going on, which means possible lean, like a little bit too much air versus gasoline here. But the big takeaway here is change them before they get to this point. Okay, now we're going to go over spark plug gap. If you wanted to check your spark plug gap, these are NGKs. This is the preferred spark plug that you should use for your 2.4-liter Honda Accord. You can see it's got a protective sleeve like we talked about earlier, so it's been pre-gapped and that protects the gap. But it's pretty easy to double check the gap if you're not sure, or if you get cheaper plugs that don't have the protective sheath, you can check them yourself with a spark plug gap tool that you can pick up at any auto parts store for about basically $3 or $4. You can get these little gauges right here. I got this one at AutoZone. They're very simple to use. You start at the very end here so that it's kind of a loose area, and then you work your way up to the point to where it gets tight, and that'll tell you what your gap is. So we go to the 0.02 area right here, and then once you get your spark plug onto the gauge, you slowly rotate it until it gets to the correct gap size. So you want a 0.044, and you can see that down towards the middle of this gauge. Just go very slow. You do not want to damage the iridium tip on here. Now, I stop before I get to the 0.044, but you just keep advancing till you get to that point. Now, if it's not tight enough, it's pretty simple. You just press down on the top of this diode here and just ever so slightly bend it, and then you're going to recheck the gap again. You can just do that a little at a time, or if it's too tight, you can take that little hole in the ring and bend it back the other way so that it loosens it. But it's very simple, and you just do slight adjustments at a time. It's not very hard. The main takeaway here is just to be very careful so that you don't damage the iridium tip on the end of the spark plug. So you have to be very gentle, and as soon as it starts to get tight on the gauge, you stop and then adjust your tip until you get it just right. Okay, now we're ready for a startup, so wish me luck. Here we go.
Pick all these gloves and these tools and get this crap cleaned up.
Purring like a kitten, man. So if this video helped you out, don't forget to give me a big old fat thumbs up. And until next time, you know what to do. Just keep on repairing.